the show. Welcome to the show. Cause if you didn't, now you know. Light it up, kid, give them a show. Be volcanic and just let it blow. Oh, make them shiver. They've been waiting for the real man, time to deliver. I'm magnetic, I move still. They can't feel it, soon they will. You spit electric, you shock with sight. Your sounds eclectic, the crowds ignite. They've been waiting for it, so just let them have it, yeah.
Double stuff them like a sandwich. It's the G-Talk. Let's go.
What's up, coño? Here we are again.
Let's go. What's up, Frankie? How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
You sound better.
Really?
You sound... Listen, I'm doing great, by the way. You sound better.
Awesome.
We tested the mics this time a better way. Now you've got headphones on. You could hear.
Yeah, much better.
You were going... not blind, deaf, I guess. And your posture is fine.
My posture's fine.
It's great. You're you're a hombre renacentista moderno.
Oye esa vaina, all
Oh,
right.
Boricua? Is that? Did I use that properly?
Not
at all.
You said the word properly
To the wrong person.
Exactly.
Wait, ready? Oh, where's the? They didn't do the wah-wah. Oh, that's what.
$4, so let 'em go.
Oh, no. Wah, wah, wah. How would I have used that properly? Go ahead. My hombre renacentista moderno.
Well, you said it right. That part.
I don't know what it means.
Modern Renaissance man.
No. The Boricua. I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, you said the word right. But when you say that, like, oh, Boricua,
Yeah.
you're talking to a Puerto Rican.
I swear to God, you were a Puerto Rican in another life.
Dude, it's my face. I got a Puerto Rican face, but...
You were a Puerto Rican in another... You were a Puerto Rican Adonis. You probably ruled all of Puerto Rico. You were something special. Not that you're not now, but maybe that's when I knew you, when you were a Puerto Rican. How's that?
I'm from New York. We wear uptowns. We get, bold fades, and we wear baggy pants with sweatshirts. And that's like most Puerto Ricans. And that was me, so.
I'm going to admit something to you. I couldn't fucking... Hold on.
Oh, way too early for the chips,
It's
bro.
way too early. I'm sorry. I couldn't... What you just described to me, I could not tell the difference. If I'm walking down the street, pick any street in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I'm not a New York City guy.
Okay.
Does that shock you?
Not at all.
He knows me already. All right. But if what you just described, the way that you could pick it out, like there's a Puerto Rican style, I could never tell the difference. I mean, not even close.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Latinos.
Yeah.
Latinos. Hi, Latinos. Hola.
But like Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, especially like the Dominicans that grew up, in my age, 90s and 2000s, we dress similar. But there's Dominicans that those are Dominicans that you could tell they're Dominicans by the way they dress. And then like me, that I just dress like I'm from the Bronx.
I can't believe there's I need to learn more.
I
need Frankie. You need to. How do you say teach in Spanish? Enseña.
Enséñame.
Enséñame.
Yes.
Enséñame the ways of the Latin culture. By the way, and this might give you a hint of what we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to give it up. Not yet. But what does anyone in your culture use the term Latin X? Be real. Latin X.
That sounds like a porn site. Latin X.
Knew you were gonna go Latin
.com.
I guarantee. I could look it up. I don't want that'll
way
mess up.
Too early, dude.
That'll mess up my browser. That'll mess up my browser. No. We're not doing that. But the reason why I bring that up, you know what Latinx means, right?
I don't know what Latinx means.
Isn't that sad that someone from the Latino culture, which is ridiculous to say it that way, because you just proved to me that there's a big difference between two little countries and it's lumped in with all the other Hispanic. I mean, think about what it means to be Latino. And this is not what we were supposed to talk about, but this is how it works, right? We start talking, and because now I'm interested in this, right?
Okay.
You're enseaming me.
I want to know what Latinx is.
I'm going to look it up because this is going to be a hint of what we're talking about.
Okay.
Latinx was something that I heard in politics, right? It was more like on television, where they were they being these politicians and these people, referring to all of Latinos as Latinx, as opposed to Latino, right? Which is, I think, accepted in all of Latin culture, all the countries, right? I'm not going to speak for all of them.
Yeah, no. Latinos, that's the way we identify ourselves. We're Latinos. All of South America, the Caribbeans, we're Latinos. We all speak. We could is what 60 something different countries, Spanish countries, and we could all communicate with each other.
Imagine, sorry to interrupt. Imagine one phrase for that many group. Like again, I don't want to keep harping on it. You just proved to me, and I never thought that there was a difference between how a Puerto Rican man, well, not you, I'm saying in general, I can keep doing that, or a Dominican man dresses. And those are two little tiny. You include all the rest of the countries that we insinuated or intimated. 60 countries, however many it is. Colombia, Peru,
Venezuela, Colombia, Mexico,
all of it, right? Lumped into one word, Latino, right? Latino.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people, right? Yeah. And it's like, I always laugh when, and this is a little bit of a sidebar, when politicians say, the Latin vote. Mother, bitch, that's millions of people, and they all dress differently.
Yeah.
And they all think differently. And you're lumping them into one blob and expecting them all to buy your message. Nonsense, right? And we'll get to Latinx in a second, but I want to.
But the part about Latino is correct. Is you're talking to the Latinos, just like if you was to talk about the blacks. There is not only Africans. There's a lot of other dark skinned people from black culture.
Right.
I mean I don't know enough to say if they all. I don't believe they come all from Africa. I could be mistaken. I didn't study it like that. But
various native cultures had predominantly darker skin because they were outside more in the sun. So could be a hybrid of different cultures that we think maybe is black, and it could be a number of things, right?
Yeah,
but we identify it with Africa, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, my stepfather that raised me, he's Puerto Rican from Puerto Rico, and he was dark skinned. My brother that it was his son, but we grew up together. So that's my brother.
Right.
He's dark-skinned. All of his family are very, very dark-skinned. Like
interesting.
They could walk through Harlem, and they could walk anywhere. And
like Big Papi dark?
Yeah. Yeah, like.
So that tells me then that it's a mixture of indigenous culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like from wherever, the Amazon, the island of Puerto Rico, whatever, and the white man, the Spaniards, el conquistadores, right? They came and they came, and and the rest is history. So maybe the original man, the indigenous culture everywhere is dark skinned.
I don't. There's Dominicans. Very dark-skinned Dominicans.
Very.
And you see, I don't know enough to speak intelligently of it. I could
we'll
just,
stop it here. I'm just curious.
you
We'll
know,
get to
I
Latinx.
could say what I know, and it's like I know Puerto Ricans and Dominicans that they're very, very dark. They could pass for black if they wanted to, and you know, people would never guess that they're Puerto Rican or Dominican.
But imagine like, so here's my question then, and we'll move on to the Latinx, and then move on to the topic. Isn't it interesting that these Democrats and Republicans that run whatever campaign, so in this case was the Trump campaign and the Harris campaign, lumped in all these cultures, that even within the culture there's different skin types, and listen, I'm not trying to make it about skin and all that stuff, but that's how we identify each other when we see each other, right? I mean, that's how we identify a flower or food. It's always the visual, and it's, you know, I'm not making any predisposition to a certain way that they're going to act or treat me or vice. It's this person has darker skin than I do, right? But at the end of the day, there's also within that culture, there's various skin. You've had light skin. There's probably people in your family super light skin, right?
Yeah, I have cousins. My father's brothers, they're all very light skinned, very tall, green eyes, blue eyes. My cousins are light. They look white.
Wow.
They look white, and you know, they're very, very beautiful. My cousins are gorgeous and beautiful, bright green eyes. They look white, and it's funny because my sister said to my mom, she said, out of all the brothers, you choose him with the dark eyes.
You couldn't get if you had green eyes, man. All the ladies would have been knocking at the door. They would have been. Remember our OnlyFans comment? You would have been the 1.4 million. But here's the question. But isn't it weird that different skin, different maybe even hair types, eye types, whatever, they look different, but yet we're expecting them, you know, people of Latino culture to think the same, to vote the same way, to prioritize the same, you know, political things or life goals, right? Mm-hmm. It's a culture for a reason, but it doesn't mean it's like a bunch of clones, right? They're all thinking the same way. I know white people don't think the same way. Well, nowadays, I guess it depends what hat you're wearing, but you know, but Latinx, I don't want Latinx. Here, you ready?
I am ready. I am very curious to hear what Latinx is.
You ready? Okay. Because Latinx, some people, and I might agree, say was created by a bunch of liberals.
Okay.
To include people that don't identify as man or woman. So not Latina or Latino, but Latinx to be more inclusive. So what it says here, Latinx is I can't even pronounce this. Neologism. It already sounds stupid. It already sounds fake, right? I'm going to put this up there. Ready? Here we go. It's ridiculous.
Anybody in the chat's ever heard? Do we have any Latinos in the chat?
We have nobody's listening.
Anybody is
Not yet.
You know,
nobody's Latinx in the chat. We have nobody in our chat because no one's listening. But even if they were, not one person would be Latinx. Oh, Boricua, go away. Go on though. What were you saying? Anyone in the chat?
Please finish the meaning of Latinx.
I went right to the sentence. This is it. You ready? This is the kicker. Gender neutral. It's supposed to be gender neutral.
What does gender neutral mean?
Oh my God, we're gonna be okay. Here we go. Ready?
We're gonna be.
You ready?
I'm ready. Gender neutral.
Gender.
Y'all believe this shit? Y'all believe this shit?
Gender neutral.
I may need my own button over here for the chips, yo.
not relating or specific to people of one particular gender. So denoting a word or expression that cannot be taken to refer to one gender only. So in other words, I mean, some people are yelling stupid, but what does it mean to be gender neutral? It's not associated. I guess anyone listening to us be like, you don't know what gender neutral means. I was looking for a higher level meaning to it, and the very fact that I couldn't come up with one really annoys me and proves my point. Right? There's no higher level. It's just we want to be inclusive of everybody. We've got to make sure that everyone's included. So we're going to upend 60 million people's identification thing. Latino, oh no. It's Latinx. It's like, what?
No. I said no. I said no. Number one.
Frank says no.
All right.
No.
Look, guys.
Wait, hold on.
Man, you got me started, dude.
Yeah,
you got
Frank.
me started. We're about to start this show.
I told you I knew it. But this is not even what I want to talk about.
Oh.
But it's related to it. The look in your face is priceless. Worth
oh my
a
God.
fucking poker chip. Go on, rant. You have the stage. Gender neutral. Go.
Look, this is no disrespect to anybody. Okay, and I mean that from the heart. I'm not a person that is insensitive to anybody's beliefs or what they want to be. You know, I say just be happy and don't hurt nobody and we're good. You know, but please don't put me in a position where I have to raise my voice to make my point, because you say Latinx because you want to be gender neutral. It's like, yo, it's Latin, period. You know what I'm saying? That means all Latinos. It doesn't matter if you have a vagina or if you have a penis. It doesn't matter because we're Latin. Okay? When you say it in English, it's Latin. Latin means both genders.
Yes.
Okay? And if you identify, you could fit in this group as Latin.
Right.
You don't have to change it because you want to be exclusive and use my race to promote your. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's not gonna happen. And you know what? It looks like you freaking need to grow a pair, because I will not accept that. And the fact that the liberals, politicians accepted that, is like, who the hell is managing your campaign?
First of all, thank you for. Thanks, guys. Thank you for being absolutely authentic and real in your response. I could see in your eyes you were going to go a different way, and you kind of stopped yourself.
I don't got that many poker chips left.
No, you could have. Listen, and thank you for anyone that eventually hears this. I love what you just said. You essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not going to put words in your mouth. Mm-hmm. You essentially said, listen, people, this has been going on for a long time. This is how we identify ourselves. We're Latin. Nobody's going to come in here and try to kerfuffle or do whatever, unless we have a Zoom meeting across all of Latino America or whatever. But it's like, to your point, like the best thing you said, there's a place for everyone in here. Like, who cares what you call it?
It's Latin. We're Latin. We're Latinos. That means if you learn Spanish through your mother and your mother learns Spanish through her mother,
yes,
and on and on and on, you're Latino. That means you're from Colombia, Peru, Mexico, Nicaragua, Argentina,
Belize,
Cuba.
whatever.
Yes, and that is Latino. Okay? Don't think because you're gay or whatever that you're going to put an X on it saying, oh, okay, we're not Latino, we're Latino X because we're, we have sex with different people that is not the opposite sex.
Frankie, I don't even think, first of all, I don't think it was, again, I think it was a lot of liberals that created the thing. And in this last, and I think it would surprise anyone to hear, I might sound that I come across a certain political persuasion. I'm going to shock a lot of people, and probably even you. I'm very much right down the middle.
Yeah, I'm for
Like,
the truth. The truth.
Go on.
The censor is the truth.
Go on.
You know, you go too much this way or too much this way. It's all crap. You know, it's like, yo, facts cannot be argued. A fact is a fact, and you can't take a fact and bend it into a certain way so it could meet your criteria, because it's like it's no longer a fact. Now it is manipulated in a way to make it benefit you. And it's like, no, this is the fact. Like, as an example, it's raining outside and it's pouring rain. And, you know, the left will say, well, it's kind of drizzling. And the right is like, oh, it's a little bit cloudy. And it's like, no, it's fucking raining.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
that's a fact.
Exactly. So
how you feel about it is something else.
Exactly. And oh my goodness, and like when you said earlier, we're gonna take some things that we see on social media so we could post it. That there was something so perfect about that they said something to the effect of facts versus opinions. That, you know, some people's facts are I will have to find out. I can't remember, but it made a lot of sense. That it's like, you know, a person's opinions or feelings will determine what are facts for them.
Okay. I like that.
And but it was real, and you know, don't get me started. This shit.
Well, listen, and again, I loved your response, and I wasn't testing you. That was the flow of the conversation, but it kind of is going to precede. It's going to predict what I'm about to. In other words, don't put your wherever that came from, whatever weapon inside of you, don't put that away, because you're gonna get even more frustrated by the conversation we're going to have. But I love the way you responded, because you said, look, this is who we are, right? Yeah. This is who we are.
We're Latinos.
That's
Latinos. It. Period.
Don't change it.
I mean, period. Latinos. That's it. Right. There's no Latino X or Latinos. I can't even say another word. I don't know. Right. It's Latinos. That's it.
It's period. So ingrained in who you are.
Yes, that's right. I see. I could go through 30, 40 countries in South America and speak Spanish and communicate with everybody there. Mm-hmm. I don't know any other place you could do that speak one language, and you could go through 20, 30 countries and speak the same language.
Well, I think at any titty bar, I think as long as you have money, everyone's going to understand you. So. Pardon me. And by the way, I said the T word to really, that's not.
Well, I mean, imagine you say lap dance, and somewhere in Egypt, that means take me to the back and bend me over so you could, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that same thing in Belize could be buy me a beer. I don't know. People need to watch the last one. I want to move from this Latinx thing, but the reason why I brought this up is it kind of is a precursor to what we're about to talk about.
Okay.
Because I'm about to put something on the screen. You won't be able to see it now, but this will surprise you later. This is funny.
Okay.
And I'm going to let it go across the screen once, and then I'm going to read it to you, and your mind's going to effing explode, okay? I guarantee it.
Looking forward to it.
This is hilarious.
Okay.
So I'm going to...
Just looking at your face, bro, I'm like, oh, shit, this guy's going to set me up.
Okay. This is...
It's all right, dude. I'm ready.
Okay. So let me set this up. All right? Because what's going across my screen is ridiculous.
Okay.
So I met a beautiful soul online on TikTok. She's absolutely awesome. I've met a number of different people online, but this one she's fabulous. You know, I consider her a friend because she knows a lot about me now. We've exchanged a lot of information, whatever. And no, I'm not being catfished. But she and I were talking, and she mentioned something so random and out of the blue. Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't random. She listened to our podcast. The first.
No way.
I don't know how much she heard it, but I sent it to her, and I was like, wonder if she's going to listen. Huh. And she heard, she put a comment in that she must have listened pretty far in, right?
Okay.
When you were describing what it means to be a lady.
Okay.
And she was kind of joking, saying, well, I guess I don't qualify or something. Or I forget what it is. Oh, God, she's going to kill me. But she mentioned something in our conversation about she's been on different. Oh, I said, I joked with her. I said, we're trying to start a community here with different people to talk and just, and a safe space. And she joked with me and said, I guess this was true. She was part of a group of like 1,000 women, a menstruation group.
Oh, shit. Stay the hell away from there. No
Yes.
offense to your friend.
Yes.
I appreciate the feedback. And
A menstruation group.
Dude.
And I'm sitting there going, and you know what periods. They talk about periods.
The menstrual cycles.
Yeah, and I don't mean like English grammar, like periods and commas. I mean like down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
monthly
We're good.
menstrual cycles.
We're good. We we're on the same page. Menstruation.
Yeah, they're monthly friends that come visit, hang out for a few days, and this is when the husband is on timeout for a little bit.
For a few days, unless he wants to take a dive.
No, I mean, unless she didn't have to go to the dentist that week also, then, you're probably good. This should be edited out.
Yes, that's right. What's on the screen, I'm about to read it.
Okay. Oh, this is exciting.
So someone had made a comment about, it's something like, it's what a great place to be with all the menstruating ladies or women or something.
Okay.
And that person got lambasted because, as she says, this person said back, women aren't the only ones that menstruate. I mean,
okay.
What?
Well, I mean, my dog, she menstruated.
I don't mean that way. that hold on. That was good.
She did. We had to buy her a special diaper.
But it's still her. It's still a her. They were referring to, say it with me, people that don't identify as women, but are women biologically. And they were lambasted this person. And what's going on, it says the G Talk is brought to you by menstruation. It's not just for women anymore, which is absolutely ridiculous because only women biologically menstruate.
That's correct.
So they got into a big back and forth argument. Not my friend. She was observing this, where they lambasted for, where you said in before that there's a place for everybody in the Latin culture. They were trying to really enforce openness. Like, there's people that don't identify as women, and how dare you say that only that women menstruate or some nonsense. An ultra, I would consider a liberal rant, right? Super liberal, and I used to be a liberal up until recently, and now I'm just an American, right? Now I'm just an American. I don't subscribe to any of that nonsense anymore. Grew up a Reagan Republican like my parents, right? Reagan, and I'm sure you could probably find a place in what I'm about to say. Reagan spoke to immigrants.
Yeah.
Come to America, the shining city on the hill. As long as you buy into what we're selling, you always have a place at our table, right? Reagan was all about, my parents loved, they're upstairs. My parents loved Reagan. And we were, they were into Bush. But then, they got into Obama and then all that stuff. And my kind of taste for politics changed. And then I started to realize, I started believing and thinking this a certain way that it was supposed to be inclusive. It was very exclusive. And it seemed like a party like the Democrat Party or Democratic Party, whatever, which, by the way, in and of itself, the name is almost like they're trying to get you to think, we're Democratic. They suck. We're all about democracy. But yet I love so many Democrats. And none of them will admit to coming up with a bullshit thing like Latinx, or why we would attack someone on a message board for saying, oh, this wonderful where women can come talk about menstruation, and that person gets lambasted, gets attacked, like by a bunch of keyboard cowboys, saying how insensitive, that it's not just women that menstruate. There's other people that identify as something else. Frank, I'm going to pause because my head's going to explode. I've got more to say on this. What say you? Or do you want me to keep going? Because I've got so much.
All right, just...
Do I have to clarify? You're with me on this one?
If I'm gonna just speak on what I understood, and if I misunderstood, just please correct me.
Go ahead.
All right. So what I heard is that Democrats or liberals were the one that came up with the term Latinx.
That is correct.
Okay, so who said it first?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Okay.
You know what? Let's look it up.
Who said it at all that we know?
Who said Latinx?
Okay, so you're gonna do a Google search on that, and let's see if we could get a video to.
Oh, a video? Well,
Yeah,
not that good, kid.
No, just to prove it, because this is like absurd on another level.
You ready? Thank you, Google. While it is unclear exactly when and where the term emerged, it is clear it emerged from a queer Latinx online community in order to challenge the gender binary. Latine is also a gender-neutral form of the word Latino, created by gender non-binary and feminist communities. So then, you know what? I don't want people to yell at me. I can't assume those people are liberal.
Right. So far,
we
have not identified a congressperson, politician, liberal that said those words.
The term Latinx started gaining popularity in the 2000s, right?
Okay.
But I think what happened is that they started co-opting that because the Republicans wouldn't. I think they were doing the opposite of it, where they were saying, like, it drives me nuts when anybody tries to say, you can't identify as that. And it's like, I identify as however I want, right? You know what I'm saying? To some degree.
Yeah, and
but even still, Frank, if you identify as a Boricua, and I'm like, my friend told me that's something different. You're like, nope, it's how I identify. And I'm like, I'm not going to call you that, but if that's how you identify, okay. But you're a man, right? You're a man. Biologically, you act however you want to act, right? But I could also say that you're a man. I could see you're a man. I have the right to call you a man, right? I want to be respectful, though, right? But if you identify as a fucking dragon, I'm not going to call you El Dragon. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
And
do you want me to call you the dragon? I'm the dragon.
I'm good. All right. So
I told you this is going to be interesting.
Oh, goodness Christ. I didn't bring enough whiskey for this shit, but here we go. Let's see. All right. So we could say that we have not found a politician saying Latinx.
Well, we could find that, but not first.
Okay. So,
right.
so far we don't have any proof of that a Democratic politician referred to Latinos as Latinx.
No, and I wish it was AOC so I could put her cute face on the screen.
Well, no, because I would call them out and say, "What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like, look, if some underground group,
a community,
wanted to say that they're Latinx and whatever, it's like, dude, you could say and do whatever the hell you want. You're not hurting nobody. Fine.
Right.
But please keep in mind, just like you don't want to be offended, do not offend my Latinos, period.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to say, it's like black people. It's like, oh, we're African-American X.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm sure if that was the case, because let's not, for anyone.
Caucasian X?
Well, again, feminine and masculine is built into the language of Portuguese, which I speak, Spanish, and all the various forms of it. It's got built-in feminine, masculine, right? English does not. French does, la, le, the whole thing. And I don't know what's going on in those countries. I don't know if in France there's some sort of a movement to get away from the le, le, and the la, la, for feminine or masculine, feminine. But my point is, how does one little group then try to make a change for? Shouldn't there at least be a vote? You know what I mean?
Okay.
All the countries are going to come together and vote.
They get
El vota.
They get 500 people. They manage to get to a politician, and it's, this is our community. That politician says, okay, there's 500 votes if I say this.
You're on the right track. It's just trying to win votes.
Yeah, and it's like, all right.
I got you worked up, kid. I got you. You better get lubed up. This is going to be fun. Wait till I break out the W word. Keep going.
Okay. All right.
I want to make sure I keep I keep you awake. Wink, wink.
Look. If you look like a woman, you got boobs, and short hair. I'm gonna say miss or ma'am. You know what I'm saying? If you look at me and say, I'm not a miss or ma'am. Okay, number one, I'm gonna be confused immediately.
You can be very confused.
Can I have some clarification?
Can I get a refund on my OnlyFans subscription?
And it's like, no, I identify as he, him.
Right.
Like he, him. Sir, your boobs are, you didn't get that at the gym.
No.
And it's like, you identify however, okay, fine, whatever. And what's the level of participation you expect me to go with?
Right. What's my role in this, right? What am I supposed to do
It's
here?
like, as a matter of fact, nice to meet you.
Whatever.
But, and that's it.
Yeah.
And bye. I'm not gonna... I'm not gonna play this game. I got too much shit going on. I can't play this game. You wanna duke it out with anybody that calls you for what you look like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I see a black dude. I'm like, yo, what's going on, brother? And he's like, brother, I am a sir. Okay, I identify as white.
Right. Would sound ridiculous, right?
I'm like, you are charcoal black, dude. You're almost purple black. You identify, right. you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like a Chinese person, and they're like, no, I'm Native American. Well, Native Americans do
right, yeah,
Chinese,
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Is
and by the way,
what ridiculousness are we doing here? All the problems that we face as a country, as a nation,
right.
with global warming, economics, and politics.
It's ridiculous.
We're worrying about
Latinx and
that because you identify as a man and you look like a woman, and I say that, miss or ma'am, you're gonna get pissed at me because I called you for what you look like. You know what I'm saying? If you call me like a woman, I'm like, where do you see a woman?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you wouldn't jump down someone's throat if maybe they were blind.
It's possible.
Maybe I think I could pass for a woman before you. With
no, come on, bro. No, but
you're an hombre.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Is look, if you look like a dude, I'm gonna call you a dude. If you look like a girl, I'm gonna call you a girl. And if you identify as something else, you know for a fact that I did not mean to disrespect you.
Well, perfect.
So
exactly
you are
what I
taking
wanted.
it personal because this is an outlet for you to release whatever the hell you're feeling, and you're taking it out on me, and you don't know that I'll smack the shit out of you. I don't know which one you are.
Careful, because the wrong one will get you.
I was like, she identifies as a man, so she could get it.
Oh no, where was it? Where's my air horn? Oh. But can we agree that we both agree that if you identify as whatever, put an X there, we'll accept it. Give us a chance. Help educate me. This is not.
No,
this
I
is
don't want that education.
Oh,
I'm not
okay. I'm using the
interested in
wrong
it.
word. I'm using the wrong word.
I'm not. I got so much shit to worry about. So
At least give me a chance, and before jumping down my throat. Can I do an analogy? You ready?
Mhm.
I've been known to do analogies.
Mhm.
My old friends would know. Think about driving in a car,
Mhm.
right? And let's say I'm driving in my truck, right? And you pull alongside, windows are down, and you go, "Hey, nice truck." And I'm like, "No, it's my dragon. I'm flying a dragon." And you're going to be like,
I'm gonna make a left at the light.
I think you're dragging something behind you, right? And either way, though, what does it effing matter? What I identify, I'm still driving it like a car or a truck, right? That's the biology of it, right? Or I'm using the wrong word, but in other words, going back to your point, the fact is I'm driving a fucking truck.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what I identify it as.
Mhm.
But I have the right to call it the dragon if I want and pretend I'm flying in a dragon, whatever. And I'm not saying this to demean. How what you identify is as essential, and how you see yourself and perceive yourself is as essential as what you are, right? Because if you can't link those two things up, you're never going to find happiness. You're never going to be serene. You're never going to find your why, as I call it. X plus Y equals Z. I'm the X. I'm here for a reason. That's why. The Z is the totality of my experience. Hopefully I achieve something higher than this. What I put in that shit, who cares? That's the embellishment, right?
Right.
Give me a chance. If you're going to correct me, fine. Give me a chance. Don't go down my throat. But to your point, and I love what you said, I'm going to go back to it again. We could find a place for everybody. But don't try to make this place for everyone unless you speak to everyone first.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like coming up with new terms and new this, and you have to say this, blah, 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 blah. And I think at the end of the day, my guess, that's the reason why Kamala Harris lost the election. It was too much woke stuff.
Well, woke
Woke.
has been misinterpreted.
Very much so. We're going to get into that.
Mhm.
Yes, I agree. It's been co-opted.
It has been hijacked.
And the original term, I looked it up. It's not what people think it is.
No,
At
woke
all.
is actually woke is a good thing. If I'm woke, all right?
Describe it.
Woke is aware.
You could even stop right there. But why did people need to be woke?
So you could be flipping aware. Be aware of what's going on.
Of what, though?
Of the difference between bullshit and facts.
Right.
You know, that is like, no, I'm woke. I understand that it's raining outside. It's not drizzling or cloudy. It's freaking raining.
Telling it for what it is.
You know what I'm saying? And then you go and call woke a bad thing because it's saying the truth, and the truth is hurting you. So
Right.
you're going to make woke look bad because the truth is bad for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like J6 was bad. Now
Right. January 6th. Yep.
Now I'm woke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The election was not stolen. Now I'm woke.
Right. It's a pejorative.
Yeah, is let's flip it to bad. That woke is bad because it's saying the truth, and the truth is bad for us.
Let me give the white Portuguese guy's version of woke. Tell me how I do. You ready?
Oh, and woke is hood.
It-
Woke came from the hood.
Woke came from, I think, the southern hood. I don't think it came from New York City. I could be wrong.
No, it came from. Well, I don't know if it came from New York City, but in New York City, you know, it's like, nah, we woke.
So it was there for a long time.
I used to use woke.
When you were growing up?
90s, 2000s. Yeah.
I never heard the term until 5 years ago, maybe 4.
Yeah.
And I heard it was a guy, Dan Lebitard, who was a broadcaster down in Miami. He has a show, the Dan Lebitard Show. I remember he would end every broadcast, I think it was, "Stay woke, my friends," as a joke to the greatest, the most interesting man in the world. "Stay thirsty, my friends." What was his thing? Whatever. It was in his, I think it was "Stay woke, my friends," or whatever. And I'm like, woke? What does that mean? Here's my take. Tell me if I'm going to nail this. Ready? It's probably going to suck. The way I take woke is like a father saying to his son, "Son, be woke, be aware. This world is not for us. At least not the place we're living in. It's not built for us. There's a lot of stuff going on around us, and there's a lot of different people out there. Hey, respect them and love them, but be aware, be woke of their intentions and how they perceive you. And you cannot trust anyone until you vet them out. Stay woke to what they're saying, what they're doing, and so forth and so forth. Because there's shit up ahead. And if you're not aware, like you said, and awake, it's going to trample you. Because we were brought here. We weren't born here, right? Stay woke. And it's not that these people that look different from us and whatever are going to automatically harm us or hurt us. But you never know because they ain't us, right? And people, by and large, and this is where I'm going to stop and get your feedback on what I said. They hang out with other people that make them feel safe. They bring a value to their life that is positive, the net positive. Some of my family members, I don't know. But they feel protected. They feel they can be themselves, authentic, audacious, accessible. And generally speaking, the easiest way to get those people in your life are usually the people that kind of, they're your family. They look like you. They have your same culture. Doesn't mean you don't welcome other people from other cultures, right? But at the same time, it's always easier, correct me if I'm wrong, to find a bond with someone at some common denominator down. Like, my first language was not English. Was it yours?
No.
You learned Spanish first, right?
Right.
I learned Portuguese first. I was even twisting those words when I was in second grade, I think. And the teacher said something I'll never forget. Well, my mom telling me this. "Oh, they told us to stop speaking Portuguese to you. Speak only English because you are mixing the words up." Nowadays, that'd be thrown out the window. I'd be like, no, speak as many languages. Say, hey, you want to learn Mandarin? You want to learn the drums? Just take it all in, right? We'll figure it out after. But the reason why I say that is anytime that I found myself speaking to someone else where they had a different culture, some immigrant culture from anywhere else, spoke a different language, different food, different accents, different smells in the house, things like that, I felt a kinship with them. You get it. You get it when everyone's bringing cupcakes to the birthday party in third grade and my mom's bringing Portuguese fried dough. And the kids are making fun of me, but the teachers are loving it. Like teachers are coming in from other classrooms to like clean the plate dry. And the kids are like, "You're bringing these lumps of crap full of sugar?" And I'm like, oh boy, they don't get me, right? So by default, we're always going to be with people that we feel safe with and comfortable, right? And then how do you treat everyone else? Well, you're kind of woke, right? You have to kind of feel them out and welcome them into your... But now it's become woke, like you said. But before we go into that, what I just said about feeling a kinship with some... What do you feel about that? Am I anywhere close in the ballpark, or am I just being sexist, racist, bullshit stuff? How do you feel about what I just said? Be real. I can take it.
100. I grew up in New York. I grew up in the Bronx. I studied there. I graduated there. Went to college there. I worked over there. Over there in the Bronx where I lived, it was a mix of Puerto Rican, Dominican, and Black. That's it. Dominicans were the minimum. Puerto Ricans and Black were the majority.
Okay. Where in New York? Which borough?
In the
Bronx.
Bronx.
The Bronx.
Yeah.
Okay.
after a while, this was like in the early 90s. By 2000s, we were just about even, all three of us.
Okay.
But you go to Washington Heights in Manhattan, that is 90% Dominican.
Really?
Yeah. And this is like 180, like 174th Street, all the way up to
You can tell me whatever street, 7,000th Street. But like, oh yeah, must be nice. Yeah, I don't know.
And then you got Harlem.
Okay.
Harlem is 95% black. Then you got
That I know.
Then you got Spanish Harlem, which is about 90% Puerto Rican.
Interesting.
Then you go downtown, and this is all Manhattan.
Okay.
So like way uptown is Dominicans. Not Midtown, but 125th Street, that area, Harlem, that's black. Then 116th Street is Spanish Harlem, and that's mostly Puerto Rican.
Okay.
And then south of, I don't know, let's say 100th Street, now you start getting into the white territory.
The rich, where it starts going into like
Right.
beautiful sidewalks and granite and stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So the more down you go,
Yeah.
like if you're in 100th Street, it gets, white, and 90th, 80th, it gets whiter and whiter and whiter.
And taller
All-
and
all
taller
the-
and taller.
all the way till you get to West 4th Street, to Wall Street. Is 95% white. Well, let's call it 90. And again, I'm using the census and statistics of
Right.
Early 2000s. And I don't know what it is now. I haven't been there. I mean, I was there the other day picking up my mom to bring her up here, but that's the way it.
We
always
could look it up,
was.
but I'll take your word for it. You keep
Yeah.
going.
So to your point, from your culture, you feel more comfortable with your culture because you have similar tastes in music, food, culture, the way you dress, the way you greet each other. Is like like Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. We greet each other with a kiss.
Yep.
And when we say goodbye with a kiss. And I think Portuguese are like that.
Absolutely.
Too.
Yep. The double kiss. Yep.
Right. So.
The mafia did the same thing. The eye ties, the Italians.
Yeah. It's
Come on.
It's a culture.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You go to a Dominican household, any Dominican household, you're gonna have your white rice with your plátano maduros, with your totones, with your salad.
I'm getting hungry.
You're gonna hear the same music. You're gonna hear the same artists.
Right.
And I think it's the same for every culture. Dominicans, they'll be listening to bachata.
What's bachata?
Bachata is
It's like that.
no, it's like
or something like that. I'm so
oh
off.
goodness, I can't even make the sound, but it's one of the world's best music. Is poetry and dancing, and the lyrics are poetic.
Bachata. I got to do it.
Oh my
Hold, I got to do. We're gonna listen to some.
We're gonna
bachata.
bachata.
Oh,
BA
bachata.
Yeah, BA.
Not like Machete. That was the movie, right? Bachata wasn't like his angry sister, right?
No.
Okay. Watch out for bachata. All right, bachata. Oh, there it is. Bachata mix. All right, let's go. All right.
Oh, we're playing bachata. How
Let's
about that?
go. Look at this guy. Bachata mix. What's going on here?
I am just gonna send a little video to my friends. Oh boy,
That's not bachata?
that's bachata, and that is probably the top artists.
Romeo
in-
Santos?
Romeo Santos. He sold out the Garden more than anybody else.
I picked the right guy.
Yeah. Well, I would bet, I'm not even looking, he has over 20 million views, that song.
Yeah, 20 million subscribers. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know who's the account holder, but that song, when that came out, that was...
Okay, I know what bachata is. I know what bachata is.
Yeah.
Now I know. This almost sounds like something.
I can turn this around.
What's her name?
Can I give a shout out real quick?
Go for it, man. Hold on.
Uh,
Let me put you on the. Hold on. Let me get you on the screen. Go for it.
Send a shout out to very special friends out over there, Texas. Saludos, mi amor. I'll call you in a few when I'm done, okay? Oh my God, this is so funny.
Oh, sorry. Oh, wrong thing. Sorry. Oh no, wrong thing. Bachata. I love it. Let's go. Camila Cabello.
I mean,
She does.
She does pop, I believe.
But she uses this type of music in some of her. There's I recognize this kind of thing, bachata. But you know what? Keep talking about that, because we're gonna put the woke aside for a second, because let me put a bow on that for a second. I have a question for you, my friend, and you're gonna educate me.
Okay, let's put the camera that way because I need to refill real quick.
Go for it. You're going to enséñame. Me enseño. How did it go again?
Enséñame.
Enséñame. And basically, for the woke thing, we'll put that aside, right? Let me know when you're ready.
Ready?
Okay. I believe it was co-opted by people that feel like that they've been excluded, and they took something from a group of people that was theirs, and are using that to kind of chastise their own kind for wanting to canoodle and protect those people. You're being woke, which is a way, I think, of saying in code, you're protecting them. You're not thinking about us. They have them, we have us. Stop being woke, right? Stop being like in thinking about the whatever, put a blank space there, the minority group of sex, gender, of race, whatever. You're being woke. You're not thinking of us because we don't have a word. Now we do. We have woke. And that became the thing. Every time I say, here, woke politics, woke agenda. There's so woke corporations. A corporation can't be woke. A corporation's not a person, right? And to your point, woke has a specific meaning, and it's leave it to the people that created it because it's theirs, and it's to warn them of us. I mean, that's what it is.
It's just being aware. You know, it's just
it's
being
ridiculous.
aware. It's nothing more, nothing less. Is that you are aware of what's going on, and you are aware of what are facts and what are not facts, and
in not just in politics and every day,
and
right?
And everything, yeah.
You're woked out. We'll move on.
I just don't understand how easily people could be shifted to say, take a word and associate it to something that provokes them to think that they are being attacked or manipulated by a freaking word that has absolutely nothing to do with anything.
That they co-opted. They took. They took the word.
They hijacked it. Yeah.
And the they, I'm not a big they guy. It's people that are part of political campaigns, political whatever, that saw a way to brand a word that they could accuse the other side of. And that would be code enough. It would be enough code to their own people to let them know, wink, wink, you know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Don't be like them, wink, wink. The woke, you got to be real, right? But in to your point, woke is being real. Woke is be real about yourself, be real about the world around you, and react in a real way to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And
it's straight down the middle. It's just facts.
Right?
It's just facts. It's you know, we're and it's not facts, you know, like we're sitting here talking, we're being woke because we're sitting here. that's obvious. Even though some people say, well, you're not technically sitting, and because your knees are just bent, that's all you're doing, and they'll
It
take that and
sounds
run.
so petty, doesn't it?
It is.
Isn't it petty?
It's painful because we got real problems.
Right.
We got real problems,
Preach.
and we are focusing on redefining words like woman, woke, all this that does not even deserve serious attention.
Here.
But yet we are, no, the hell with climate change. They're
Right,
being woke.
Right. What the hell with trying to get food to people that are starving in this country?
because climate change is they're trying to distract us with climate change when food is and goodness is it drives me crazy because I'm like,
I told you, Frank, that this is gonna. We'll get away from this in a second, but I told you. I told you I was gonna get you.
no, but you know what? I'm cool because it's okay to talk about this. Okay,
It's imperative to talk about this,
yeah,
don't you think?
Yes, and anybody that if you have a difference of opinion, that's okay.
Right.
Because we all have our own brain to think with, and we could take all the facts and form our own opinion.
Right.
Okay, keyword facts.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
are there any more facts though in this world?
I'll give you the perfect example.
Go for it.
And I really didn't want to go down here, but we're gonna go for it because here at the G.
We'll hop off in a second because I can tell. Like, I want to do some fun stuff, but I really wanted to get your opinion on this. I thought you'd speak about this in an authoritative way. That's not the way. From an just move on. I think I just called you a fascist or something. I don't know. Go on.
And
you're an authoritarian.
We all right, here at the G, so we could talk, right? We could talk. And opinions
about anything.
About anything, that's right.
Anything.
And we will speak, hear each other's opinion, and we'll respect each other because it is important to respect each other, and that's important. Now, with that being said, and I say this, okay, as an example.
Just say it.
We were just talking about facts.
Yep.
Approximately 40% of Americans thinks that the 2020 election was stolen.
What do you think?
I have yet to see a shred of evidence.
Not one.
Not one piece.
Yeah,
of evidence.
I agree. I would love to have a counterpoint. I can't.
But
I just can't.
40% Americans say no. It was rigged. It was stolen. Okay. Do you have any proof? Well, if you look at 2,000 Mules, that fictional story. That fictional story that didn't make it anywhere. It lasted 2 weeks on the internet, and then it had to be taken off because, it was doctored so much that, so, things like that is what gets me. And
do you think this last election was
you know what? Not for nothing, because if Harris would have won, we would still be hearing it was rigged. But
hold on.
Well, shit, at 7:30 that night, Harris was up in Pennsylvania. Trump put something on his thing. Oh, they're already cheating.
And he ended up winning Pennsylvania too.
You know what? He won
all
by a lot more than what I thought. I personally thought. I said, you know what? We could be divided in a lot of things, but we could all agree that a convicted felon, a convicted sex offender, a 4-time indicted person, twice impeached, grossly mishandled COVID, paid hush money to a porn star. That was proven that he was guilty.
Yeah.
While his wife is nurturing their brand new baby.
Mm-hmm.
You just got rid of family values, morals, respect, integrity. and this is the man you want for your president, and he won by that much, dude, I'm sorry. You know what? I was like, yeah, I want to recount. I mean, you guys had about 7 of them,
Right.
you know, and I got nothing against Republicans. I really don't have nothing against Republicans. You know, if you could make America great,
Then do it.
again, and I use those specific words because I think they have a different definition of the word great.
Right.
Because America was not great when Trump was president.
Well, it depends on who you were.
Well,
right?
He inherited a great economy by Obama. He didn't make that economy. He inherited it and then ruined it.
Some people also said that Bill Clinton inherited a great economy, or the backbone for a great economy that he built on. And Frank, I don't want to get into a whole thing. You know, by the way, how much time do you think we're in? Take a guess.
40 minutes?
1 hour, 5 minutes.
No way.
Way.
Wow.
I want to save this conversation for another time because I think I have I don't disagree with you on anything that you said as far as those are facts. What you just said are facts, right?
Yeah, and look, and to the Trump supporters, guys, you guys are welcome here. You know, the only thing is we're not going to tolerate bullshit. We're not going to tolerate. We're not going to tolerate. You know that. Oh no, it was rigged because this and that. Like, bro, if you don't got proof, he lost 62 court cases,
Right.
Not because of the lack of evidence, but because of the absence of evidence.
Right. Or really great attorneys. But I take a different viewpoint than I've ever had before. Do I think he's a great man? No.
No.
Because I have a different level of or different qualifications to what great for a man is. And that's kind of the ethos of what the show is, right? Being authentic, audacious, and accessible, but also being kind and compassionate to other people. And like we had a very, very powerful conversation, I think, just now about, and I still keep going back to that phrase you said, everyone's welcome in this community. There's one thing in saying that, and there's another way in showing that. And I'm not sure that, by the way, I think Donald Trump is playing a big character, and nobody gets it. He's playing an effing character because the guy's the biggest liberal you've ever seen. And he's playing the character so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So perfect. You know, I can't do my impression right now. I don't disagree with you on all that. The problem is, not the problem, but I have a lot of Republican friends, many, that will give him the benefit of the doubt. And I can understand why. That's fine. But when it comes to somebody else that does a fraction of what he did, as if there's a D in front of their name, I should do it the other way around. They're like, jail, gone. You should be out of this country, whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think any of these I don't think any of them probably should be doing those jobs. I think they're all corrupt. And that's a very simplistic and very childish way of looking at it, but prove me wrong. Not saying your girl AOC is corrupt, but do I know that she's legit? I don't. I'd love to meet her and talk to her and interview her, and then I could find out. Same with Trump. But I haven't seen a court case with AOC in it where she fondled some guy, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But here's my take, and I don't want to make this a Trump bashing because he's going to be our president. I'm going to support him. I hope he does well. And there's some policies when you separate the man from the policies, because at the end of the day, it's no different, I think, than watching a football game. How many times have you watched a guy in the NFL catch a touchdown for your team or hit a home run? I mean, how many players have gone through, Boston or New York where they had questionable pass? You know, they are wife beaters or they did some crazy shit. But when they got up to bat, you're like, hit it out, motherfucker. I want you to hit it out. Yeah, I love him. Because you put your focus on what matters most to you, right? What value do you get out of this person? Their character, right? Where they were nice on the street when you met them or whatever, or they treat women nice or men nice or whatever, or what they do in their job, right? In this case, we can't change the guy that people voted in, right? And I think that the election, my answer was not stolen. I think it's impossible to rig an election this large. If this was Belize, different story. Do you agree?
Yeah. You know, as much as I dislike Trump, I will not put myself in a position where I'm going to go to jail so I could vote for Harris twice.
I mean, seriously, who's doing that?
You know, I will not.
And enough people would have to do that for it to. I mean, it's a lot of people, bro.
And if
It's a lot of people.
That's a felony. That's like 5 to 7 years, and
Guaran-
that's with a clean record.
Clean record.
You know, I'm not risking my life for that. You know,
Politics are that important to you that you're gonna or bring in ballots, harvested ballots? It's nonsense.
Yeah,
it's absolute nonsense.
Yeah, I'm not going to put myself in that position.
No.
However, you know, I think, you know, like what you said, a baseball player, you know, hit his girlfriend, whatever, and you know now he's playing. He hit a home run, and I'm cheering.
Right. Are you a bad person for doing that?
No. However, this ain't baseball, and this ain't football. This is running the superpower of the world, the country that is the superpower of the world. And the way we represent ourselves is as a country that offers opportunity and freedom to anybody that seeks it. The Statue of Liberty, you know, give me your weak, you're hungry, you're poor, and
yearning to breathe free. Right.
Yes, you know, and
well, can I stop you there for a second, Frankie? Any Trump supporters in your family? This is gonna get tough.
Yeah, no, and and they don't live here. They're in the Dominican Republic.
They're in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, because
how do you know? Facebook or whatever.
I speak to them. We have a family group, and I just tell them, I'm like,
what do they say to you?
They was like, oh no, because when Trump was president, the economy was good. I'm like, oh, so you think he created that economy? He inherited that economy. You see, so this is where we are in two different levels.
Some might argue, Frankie, that the boom that it kept going after COVID for Biden, some might say, well, Trump helped set that up. It's hard to it's almost like splitting hairs on that. Like, why do we argue about whose economy it was?
Because that was the whole thing. They were saying, you know, eggs didn't cost $12 for a dozen when Trump was president, but it did with Biden. And it was like, yeah, that's right.
Because it's COVID.
Trump handled COVID so horribly.
Right.
He suggested don't wear masks. It makes you look weak.
I will say this, though, Frankie. Here's the thing. Yeah, that was dumb how he said it. There is so much evidence now that the mask never worked.
And that's okay. But you know what?
He said it the wrong way, though, right?
It's a precaution. It's like, dude, if you're going to go swimming, wear this life vest. Yo, I know how to swim. It's a precaution.
What a great analogy. What a great analogy.
You know, and it's like, yo, anything that helps to get us over this shit.
Let's do it.
Let's freaking do it together as a country.
Right.
He's arguing with the world's greatest scientists, calling them fake news.
Right.
Because they have a different opinion of someone that suggested injecting bleach or disinfectant to your body to kill a bacteria in a matter of seconds.
Here's where I'm going to flip the switch on you. You ready?
I'm ready.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I just came up to a kind of a thought process in my head a couple of years ago. I'm like, all these people around me that I respect deeply, and some that I love deeply, really follow this man. They appreciate this man. And they talk openly about these policies and these beliefs and things in a way that, just like you speak passionately about what you spoke about before, growing up and using woke and everything, they're speaking passion as if they're like, well, someone's listening to me. Someone hears me. Because I felt like I haven't had a place, even though I'm speaking for my friends, and I got to be careful what I say here. I'm kind of putting different words together from what I heard and kind of summarizing. So pardon me if anyone, whatever. G talk. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, someone's finally speaking to me in a way that tells me for sure they're speaking to me, And you ready? I'm going to say something that's going to make this make sense. And this is where I was like, well, I can't ignore this. They said, he speaks to me. He speaks like me. And he speaks for me. I believe what he's saying. And at the end of the day, these other politicians from any side, none of my friends believe he's a true Republican. They'd have to be insane. It's obvious he was a liberal growing up. He changed a lot of things that people are like, hey, kid, if you want the red vote, you're going to have to back off on the abortion thing, because he was for abortion forever. I mean, he didn't give a shit. Yeah. And now he takes credit, and rightfully so, for, I believe, of a travesty of taking away a woman's right? Or allowing that. He didn't take it away. He allowed it to happen for the states. I don't think the states should have any. How in the world, I don't want to get off track here, I want to finish my thought, but how in the effing world does it matter? How are my rights to my body changed depending on my geographic location, so long as I'm in the United States? Mm-hmm. Whether or not I'm Rhode Island, Texas, Arizona, or Michigan, it should be the same. There's something in Washington called the Constitution, and it allows me to do whatever the fuck I want with my body within reason. And that reason is for me, not you. It doesn't matter what state I'm in. I'll leave that aside. But my friend said, I don't care what he did with those women. I can't judge him for that. I'm cool with that. Some of it, whatever. And I'm like, you're cool with that? They're like, I don't give a shit about it. Because I'm so sick and tired of the way people have been running this stuff. I don't care if someone gave him that money when he was little, or he earned it. He's living that life. It's pretty hard to fake it. And a lot of my friends want to be him. They look at this guy, dare I say it, a pussy hound. And they're like, if I could be Donald Trump, I got my name everywhere. I'm walking around. They all think he looks ridiculous, his orange face, but they're like, but he gets women. He gets people's attention. Guys look up to him. My friends appreciate the character and what he's saying. The guy, the man, and all the stupid shit he's done and all the illegal stuff, they push it aside for one fact. And this is what they say to me. He's not a politician. He's not a politician because politicians need your money and he doesn't need your money. Yet he is hawking, I'm going to beat you to it. He's hawking all this shit online. All the Trump jerseys. I guess he had some or whatever, crypto, whatever the fuck it was. But Frank, I'm bringing this all back. You ready? I think my friends feel like he speaks for them because he's of them. Just a more embellished version. Going back to what we talked about before with New York City. We tend to gravitate and feel safe around our people, right? That's why you have Spanish Harlem. That's why you have Harlem. That's why you have this, that, you know what I mean? And I think, call it racist or not, I don't need to use those words. It's a fact. My friends believe that he speaks for them. As in, he's helping to keep whatever the version of woke is for MAGA, right? And I say to myself, okay, I get it now. I do get it. They're willing to pass a lot. So here's my question to you, Frank. Long-winded way to ask you a simple question. Do you think it's wrong for people to want their own people around them most of the time and to lead the country and do the... And if they don't think about everyone else, so be it. They think about me, I'm good. Hey, that's what happened when Obama was president, which is insane because I don't remember Obama just doing policies just for black people. But people, my friends, talk about how when Obama would speak in such a very personal, connective way to people of color, because he is a person of color. He went through all that shit. That was his people. But he did the job for everybody. Would you agree?
Of course.
Right? So my friends say, well, now we get our guy. And I'm thinking to myself, I at least liked Obama. I respect him. I'm not saying I don't respect Donald Trump, but I understand what my friends are talking about. I understand the idea of wanting to have your kind, the people, you feel safe with them, right? And maybe this is a bad transition, but do you think it's bad for a group of people to say, or even not even say it, just to want to be around their kind? Isn't that what countries are? You want to be around your kind. How is that in this country all of a sudden a bad thing? That's the way the rest of the world does it. How is that fucking bullshit here? Here. Now you got me upset. Like, how is it wrong to do it here? But every other country, it's mostly the people of that country.
Because if it was here, it'll only be Native Americans.
I mean, and
white
even
people white people wouldn't be here, and I'll go there. I will go there.
Go there.
In the Olympics, when we are competing, we win most of the gold. You look at all the athletes; they're from all over the world,
everywhere. Right.
Look at the China team. Any guesses?
They're mostly Chinese.
The Australian team. Any guesses?
Mostly Australian.
The Mexican team.
I'm gonna go with. Oh,
So
you know what? I'm gonna phone a friend here. You ready? What would be the? I can't do this quick enough. Forget it. Keep going. It would be Mexican. Go on.
The entire world is segregated. The United States is great because we have every country in this country. There's every. I don't know if that's the
Statistics.
True. But I know if you walk down 42nd Street, you could hear at least 20 different languages.
Okay.
From 42nd Street.
In the greatest
6th
city in the
Avenue,
world, as they say it, right?
The capital of the world.
Right. New York City.
From 6th Avenue to 7th Avenue and 47th Street or 42nd Street, you will hear 20 different languages.
Right. And that's a beautiful thing, is it not?
It's a beautiful thing if you know, if everybody's nice and it's like, yo, how do you say hello in your language?
Right.
How do you say beer in your language?
Yeah, how do you say "Cómprame una cerveza"?
Yes, you know, is awesome because it's like you get to learn. You know, you get to learn different things, and you know, learning is knowledge. Knowledge is power, and
I don't disagree with you on that.
So, if you want this country for yourself, how about you go back to where you came from?
Well.
You know what I'm saying? How about you go to, do you even know where you're from?
Right. Where are you from?
You know what I'm saying? Like, my blood is Dominican. My documents are American.
Your home is here.
This is my home. This is where I was born, grew up, studied. This is where I pay my taxes, so on and so on.
You pay taxes?
Every now and then. My family's blood is from Dominican Republic. And
you're proud of that.
Yeah, they're military. They're in the military. They've been to Iraq and Afghanistan.
Wow.
And just like so many other people from so many other countries.
Right.
You know, so now you're saying that you want this to yourself, though we fought so we could all have the same rights.
Well, I don't think like my friends think that they want this to themselves. I know where you're going from. Because
the way you made it seem is like you want somebody like, you know, like Harlem and Spanish Harlem, that everybody is.
Let me clarify. I'll go back to the question. Do you think it's wrong for people to want to collaborate and to cohabitate with people of their own kind?
No, that is not wrong at all, because I don't mind collaborating with people of my own kind. However, I also do not mind collaborating with people from,
of
from
course.
other place. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And in the building I lived in, we had like 7 different nationalities, and in a 5-floor walk up, there was 5 times 7, 35 different families, and we were all from different cultures, but we all got along. We all got along, and it was awesome.
I grew up in a neighborhood, one long road where the houses were all 6 feet apart, very small, ranches on one side, raised ranch on the other. And it was 40 different. You know, you had, Portuguese, Spanish, Puerto Rican, Dominican, you had black, Jamaican, and when I say black, American black. You had Jamaican, you had, looking back, Indian, not Native American, like Indian from India. And by the way, I learned this. This is interesting. Do you know, I'm going off track here, that Columbus, the reason why he didn't call them Indians like they were from India. Indios. He sees, like, I got to look that up. It was Dios, like in God. It was like a term. They were I forget. I'll have to look it up. But it wasn't that he thought he was in India. He knew the difference. People have been to India. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But let me go back to the question, though. Again, is that a bad thing? Because I grew up in a neighborhood when I was little, up until the age of 12, I think. I was thinking from 5 to 12 or something, 7 years. It was a long time in my life where it was diverse. There was people everywhere. Different smells, different music, different cultures, different whatever, different looking people, different sounding people. That was par for the course, right? But most of the time, the people that came over my house were my family, right? Or friends of the family. It was people that, not to say that we had every different people at our house, but for the most part, it was mostly our peeps, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be around your peeps. You feel safe. You feel like connected, right? The problem is when you get into the country thing, all the rest of the world does it, like you said. I wouldn't say segregated, but I know what you mean. Like they come together in their own groups around the world, right?
They're like everybody from China is Chinese,
right? They are what they're.
Yeah, and America is the only place. It's like, well, what's in America? Oh, it's white people. Like, no, it's not only white people.
It's everything.
It's everything. Yeah.
But for some reason here, when you try to speak to, whether you're Obama or whether you're Trump, and you're speaking to a segment, or Harris, she was made fun of for changing her accent when she spoke to different groups or whatever. Listen, I don't give a rat's ass about any of that. Can you do the job? What are you planning to do? And again, if 78 million people voted for him to go back and 76 voted for her, and there's a 2 million difference, guess what? You won, brother. You won finally. Congratulate. Good for you. You're not faking it. And I'm going to support you, but I'm going to be real. I don't like the stuff you've done in your personal life. It would have disqualified you for the job for me, but it didn't for others. Now you've got the job. Now I need you to succeed. I need you to kick ass, right? I need you to make it happen and think of everybody.
He's going to be president, and I hope he does a good job. I hope he does a good job. Like whatever you said, you're going to bring down the cost of eggs and gas and all this, and do a good job. I'm not rooting against you, but I got my eye on you because I already see.
Stay woke.
I already seen what you've done.
Stay woke.
You know what I'm saying? And goodness, and I will say this, and this is to any politician that if you're watching,
one day,
it really comes down to this, and I'm telling you because you guys know this just as much as I do. There is no way we will ever be great if we cannot work together.
Oh, absolutely.
Now the red side that's been crying for the last 4 years, the 2020 election was stolen, are now rejoicing because their guy won and saying, "Oh, look at the liberals cry."
It's the same nonsense back and forth.
And
the same nonsense back and forth.
Is like,
drives me nuts.
If you were saying the election was rigged for so many years, was without proof,
right?
And I can make a joke about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's like saying the Jets won on Sunday.
Yeah, they did.
No, they did. They did. The Jets did win.
No, they lost.
No, they won.
Oh, you're playing the game. Okay. You're playing a game.
Rigged. It was rigged. Everybody knows.
I fell for it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
there's Jets fans that hate you right now.
The Yankees won the World Series.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, Hunty shouldn't even be here. He's an illegal.
So where do you stop with trying to correct someone? When you just walk away?
We need to work together is what I'm saying. Okay?
Yeah.
It's like you want to get your rocks off saying like, oh, the libs crying, this and that. Like, number one, we're not crying. All right? Trump won.
Yeah.
We're not crying. It was rigged.
Right.
We're not rating the capital.
Well, some are, but I mean, there's extremes on both sides.
Yeah, but the point is, I didn't see another J6.
No.
Nobody's planning it.
No.
Nobody's on Instagram or Twitter saying, oh, be there is going to be wilds.
Well, remember, Frank, it wouldn't be J6. You have to include all the other numbers. It would be J pi.
Okay.
Latinx? Forget it. We'll move on. Let's end on a positive, fun, because this was deep. This is, you cannot make an omelet unless, say it with me, you crack some eggs. So we cracked some eggs on this one.
Yeah, no, we're not going to call them eggs. We're going to call them...
What would you call them? Huevos? I'm learning hombre renacentista moderno. By the way,
by the end of this season, he's going to be fluent.
I'm going to be speaking also. Of course, we'll start with the curse words.
No, we'll start with the drink words.
We'll start with I'll listen to some music and I'll get a Latina. Like, let's go. Come on. By the way, Aaron Rodgers. Can we end on that? Can we end on some sports? Aaron Rodgers. What the?
All right.
I'm not a Jets fan, but it's about time they win. I really thought. Go on. You're a Jets fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now we know why there's green around you. Now I know. And that must mean the pink, I must be the pussy.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
I'm joking.
No, that's good, though. I like that.
But what is up with the Jets?
You know what?
How did they lose that game? To Geno Smith, of all people. Geno, I'm back. Smith.
I actually betted on the
under?
The Seahawks.
You did?
I did.
So even you knew.
I know.
What is going on?
To be honest with you, I'm so disappointed. I don't even. I watch the Red Zone, so I get to watch all the games all at once, and the Jets are rarely there.
Well, when the Red Zone curse. When your team's not there, and all of a sudden they're on the screen, you know it's not good. You know it's not good.
When I saw it at the half, I believe it. We were up 21-0.
Oh, dude,
and
that pick six was ridiculous. Number 90.
I couldn't even get happy. 21-0 at the half. I wasn't even happy. I was like, they're gonna blow it.
Spoken like a true Jets fan.
And goodness Christ, and you know. And
my
nephew's, I think it was my nephew or my son that said, why don't you just switch teams? I'm like, you're not allowed to switch teams.
I'm not going to make any comments on that because I got yelled at by friends of mine because I switched teams when I was like 10 or 11 years old because I grew up, watching whatever my dad watched, whatever bullshit. And my friends said, once you're born a certain way, it's like, bitch, that's not like your nationality or whatever. Get out of here. Now, if I'm like 50 years old and all of a sudden I become, a Houston Texans fan, it's a different story. But, unless like maybe my neighbor had a son that was drafted by them. But you've been a Jets fan for how long?
A very long time.
Your whole life?
I wouldn't say my whole life because I got into football when Chad Pennington was
okay. So then 2000s.
Yeah, around the 2000s.
I would say.
I always liked the Giants because I liked Phil Simms.
Great guy, right?
And I used to watch him, and I had fun watching the game. But I really didn't have a team at the time because it came on Sundays, and on Sundays I was a kid and I wanted to go play outside. I didn't want to watch football.
Right.
Then once I got older, I liked Chad, and it was either going to be the Jets or Giants.
Right,
and,
local team.
Yeah, because I'm from New York, and everybody I knew was a Giants fan, and I didn't dislike the Giants, but I like Chad Pennington. I think we made the playoffs.
That was a great team.
Yeah, it was. And then shortly after, we got Mark Sanchez. And
they went to the playoffs.
In his rookie year, he made it to the playoffs.
Conference finals, right?
The second year, he made it to the conference finals.
What happened?
We lost against the fucking Patriots, man. I can't stand
Well.
Brady. I can't stand Brady. Fuck you, Tom. Have you ever seen?
I think Eli Manning helps you out with that. That's okay.
I respect him. I respect Brady, of course. You know, he's the best. But as a Jets fan,
F him.
he freaking ruined my Sundays every freaking week.
But Aaron Rodgers, I mean,
Aaron Rodgers.
it's like he's doing the Brett Favre thing.
He
Is he going to go to the Vikings now? I mean, seriously, is he going to go to the Vikings and go to the playoffs and get like knocked to hell? Did you ever see Brett Favre's bruises after that game, that playoff game with the Vikings?
I did not see the bruises, but he
got
hit. He got hurt a lot and
bad. Bad.
You know, we cannot have these seniors. You know, like in the team, like you need, you know, new blood.
Do you follow college football at all?
I do not. There's too many teams to.
Who would they draft?
I don't even know a single quarterback.
I have no
from
idea.
Any college bowl.
I have no idea.
But it's like, you know, here's the jersey. You want to wear this jersey? You gotta, you know, make the plays and make it happen.
It's just, oh my God! I know so many people that are Jets fans that have. It's almost like the Cubs for Chicago Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
It took them forever to win a World Series. It kind of was a joke for a long time, and then finally, when they started getting better, I'm not a Cubs fan, but I started rooting for them. I'm like, you know what? It's your time. You know what? It's your time. It's about time. I started feeling the same way for the Jets, and now I'm getting frustrated. And now I'm like, you know what? Fuck being a fake Jets fan. I don't want to do that anymore. And here's a poker chip for me and for all the Jets fans that are also saying, fucking yeah, right? Yeah. It's got to be painful. So why do it? Why flip and do it?
You know, once you're a Jets fan, it's like you got to accept a few things.
Here we go.
First, you got to accept that you are what a lot of people call God's saddest creatures. Okay, and it's okay, and I could take that. We celebrate a good first down.
Put a banner up. Scored in the first quarter.
Yeah, like the little things.
It's like high school.
I think it was last year, Zach Wilson, when Rodgers got hurt.
Oh boy!
He played against the Eagles. He looked like an official quarterback, like a good. We beat the Eagles.
I remember that game. I actually watched that game.
I had people calling me from all over, like, "Yo, did you see that?
You got a quarterback now."
And I was like, "Yes," and because my mother-in-law got me a Zach Wilson jersey.
Yeah,
a really nice one, authentic, and I was wearing it out, and I remember I went outside, and I didn't have nothing to buy. But I just wanted to go outside with my Zach Wilson jersey to just show off. And
there is a great video. I wish I could find it. I don't even know what I put in. You know when they unveiled this was like when the Jets had the jerseys, or they wore them for a couple of years. They had the stripe here and whatever. When they changed from the all white helmets.
Yeah, that was
a few years ago, right?
When Darnold became the quarterback, they had the black with the green stripes.
Something like that. And I think it was Zach Wilson. And it shows him at the unveiling of the jerseys. And they're like, "Oh yeah!" And he's got a football in his hand, and he's pointing to someone. He's like, "Hey!" And he just tosses it from the stage. And someone spliced it where it was picked off by a guy, and he ran it the distance. It was so. All right, hold on. Sorry, Romeo Santos. I got to do something funny here because we were really deep before. We got to get funny. I think it's Zach Wilson. Pick from jersey reveal. Is it Zach Wilson? Oh God, I'm not gonna be able to find it's a funny video where someone spliced it. Maybe it was Darnold. Shit. Where it literally, he just goes like this, right? He goes, let me put us both on there. He just goes like to a fan, like he's wearing the New Jersey. He's like, hey, here you go. And then they cut, the angle was perfect. It became an actual football game. It was like the Lions picking it off and running it all the way back. And it says, same old Jets, different uniforms. Something like that. I was like, dude, that I like comedy, but I don't want sports and comedy. I want you either win or I'm not watching you.
Well, so you're not a Jets fan. I can see
I am
that.
not a Jets fan. I've been cheering for the Patriots for a long time. So now I don't give a shit. I don't care about football. I don't care about anything. I got my rocks off. I'm good. I want the Jets to win. I'll cheer for the Jets. Go for it. You deserve it. Let's go Jets. And I was watching that Seattle game going, holy shit, I'm glad I'm not a Jets fan.
Bro, I was sitting
Sorry.
at home. I'm like,
sorry.
I
Go on.
bet on Seattle to win. And I took them money line because they were the underdog. I think the Jets was giving them 2.5.
They were the get out of here.
Yeah, and I was
oh
like,
my God. What, even Vegas fell for it.
yeah, and
Holy shit.
And Geno Smith was a backup for the Jets a few years back.
He was.
And I said, no, Geno Smith's going to do his thing. Metcalf, I think he was questionable.
Yep.
But he still got great receivers and a good tight end, a decent running back. So, and I'm like, no, the Jets ain't going to fucking win. And then when they were 21-0 at the half, I was
like, oh, boy.
I'm like, oh, maybe they just needed the week off to regroup.
Nope. Same old Jets.
Oh,
different
Christ.
jerseys.
It's
It's going to turn around. When they get rid of Rodgers, Aaron Ayahuasca Rodgers, who probably in his trip to wherever the hell he went to do the ayahuasca, he probably realized, why did I sign with the Jets? I should have just retired. I'm not good enough. Not because the Jets were bad. I argue that Jets defense within the last 2 years was at some point in time, maybe it was 2 years ago, they had one of the best defenses in football. Well, I don't know by the stats, but I felt like every time I watched them, they were picking someone off and running it back. They were sacking it was just a great defense. And I'm like, well, all they need is a quarterback. They got some great weapons, great running back or two. They just need a quarterback. And then I see Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, oh, here we go again.
And when
we
they
go
signed
again.
Aaron Rodgers, I believe last year he had, I think it was 7 primetime games.
7 primetime games.
And this year also, I believe it was.
Well, they flexed one of the games. They got rid of him from prime time. They said, well, no, we ain't doing this again.
Yeah, it's not fun to watch it. Okay, so remember we were talking about Latins?
Yep. So long ago. Hey, we're an hour 43 in.
No way.
1:43.
Wow.
We're going
to talk about Latins.
Yeah.
I felt so proud to have a Mexican quarterback for the Jets.
You're not the only one that said that. You're not the only one that I heard.
And I'm Dominican,
right.
but we're Latinos. And
what a great way. I'm going to let you have the last word on this. Let's wrap it up this way. You're wrapping up everything I'm talking about. Why were you proud of that, my friend? Why?
Well, number one,
Go for
because I'd never seen a Latino quarterback.
Okay.
Not in my lifetime. And, I started watching football in my 20s, but I never seen a Latino quarterback. So to me, that was a proud moment because I'm like, man, one of us is good enough to make it to the NFL. I mean, granted, it's the Jets, but but at the same time,
still the NFL.
NFL.
Yeah,
took us to the playoffs first year. Rookie year took us to the playoffs.
He had some great years, man.
Second year went to the conference final. And I'll never forget this one time that we needed a first yard, and he dove head first against a lineman to get the first yard. And I was like, that is balls.
Okay.
I'm like, he doesn't care if he doesn't play again. He wants that first down, and he will kill himself for that first down.
So go back to, yes, I agree. And by the way, he was doing that at a time. People forget. People forget that quarterbacks didn't always dive head first.
No, that was the first time I saw it with my eyes.
That's a newer thing. Josh Allen, who is incredible. We were talking about it. He's incredible. And I want the Bills to win something. I think they're amazing. Before he scrambles his head and like Tua, Tagovailoa. I feel bad for that guy. But quarterbacks didn't dive head first. They didn't do that.
No, you are trained to slide. Yeah.
But go back real quick, because we got a few more minutes left. And I think this is a wonderful way. This is a heavy podcast. Mm-hmm. This episode is heavy. You might not enjoy it as our last one. That's more fun. But this one is just as important. Frank, this is what the G Talk is supposed to do.
Yeah.
We're supposed to talk about, and I just got a tingle now because I felt it. Like, this is the shit we have to talk about.
Yeah.
We have to break down these walls. We have to be honest and authentic about what we're talking about, be accepting of blah, 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 blah. We need to talk about this shit because nobody's talking about this shit. Mm-hmm. And the only time they talk about it is with people with exact feelings of what they feel like. Mm-hmm. So they're not being challenged, right? They're not getting out of their comfort zone. Mm-hmm. They're not getting a different opposing view. So in other words, say it with me, they're not learning shit, right? And that's what you said before. It's about learning, right? When you listen back to this, you are proud. You're probably you decoded this whole thing by. There's certain phrases that are ringing in my head that you said throughout this whole podcast that, if you take those 4 or 5 phrases, sums up this whole thing. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of who I am, where I come from, my culture. It is me. I am that. But I'm here. This is my home. There's different people around me. As much as I value the people that I grew up with, I value learning about all these other cultures because I know that my culture is rich and proud and accepting, though, and so should yours. So let's learn about each other, work together, and like you said, we got to work together and do some great things, right? The problem is when someone might hear you say, I was proud of Latin quarterback. You're like, what does it matter? You know what, it matters to me. I'm proud of that because I didn't see that ever. That's important to me, right? Is that wrong? Is that wrong? Is it wrong to want to be with other people that you identify with and that you feel comfortable with? Is that wrong? Or is this not a big effing deal? Go.
Okay. So, as a Latino, to have a Latino quarterback in my team in the NFL to succeed the way he succeeded. Granted, we didn't win a Super Bowl, but he got us damn close.
Real close.
And we lost to the best team in the league. And not by a lot.
No.
You know, it was a damn close game.
Very close.
It's just something because that's never been seen before, and I was alive to see it. So that to me is it makes me feel proud. It gives hope to the other Latino kids that you can be a quarterback if you work hard enough. There's black quarterbacks, white quarterbacks. So that's and that's always been the norm. Well, not always been the norm,
but the modern norm,
right? And there's never been a Spanish quarterback. So now that there's one, it's like, oh shit, Latinos, look where we made it. And we say we because we, like for example, if I go to anywhere in Latin America, I will call them primo, which means cousin.
Yeah,
right. And only because we speak Spanish to each other because we learn Spanish from our mothers.
Right. It's a common bond.
It's a phrase. It's like with black people, I call them brother. Mm-hmm. Even the white folks. If you cool, I'll call you brother.
My man, my brother, my man, whatever.
Yeah. Sanchez there was a big. I still have his jersey. It's beat to shit, but I still have it. I'll never get rid of it.
Why should you?
And that was a long time ago too, man.
20 years ago, right?
No. It was. Let me see.
Less than that.
I was with my wife at the time, so it was at least 16, 15 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's
We're old.
Talk about yourself, dude. I don't know about-
But let's end on this. So tell me, because some people hear you say we, and they might feel excluded, but you've given me more than enough evidence. There's nothing about you or your family or your culture that excludes. I mean, I felt absolutely welcomed and loved in your house, right? Granted, I think I'm a lot closer to your culture than some other folks because I speak different language. You know what I mean? My parents are immigrants and stuff. But I guess what I'm trying to say is if there's some progress we could make in this effing world, at least in this country, is to be able to allow ourselves, like yourself, to say something like, we are proud of him, or we, and it's your, and people not giving you shit that it's excluding them.
Mhm.
Why is it we? It should be all of us. We should be colorblind. No, we shouldn't. No, we should not be colorblind. We should not be blind to anything that's an embellishment or a thing of what someone is physically, or what you celebrate it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And you try to understand and collaborate with it.
Yeah,
You don't ignore it.
like I cannot say Tom Brady, the best quarterback ever. I can say yes, we
The whites.
I can't say that.
Yeah, he's representing me because I'm like Tom Brady.
What's this guy's name? From the Cowboys.
Dak Prescott.
No, the receiver that
Michael Irvin.
No. Oh goodness Christ. I can't. Shaq. Let's say Shaq.
Yeah.
One of the best forwards. Let's say Jordan.
Yeah.
I can't say, oh yeah, we
Right.
are the best.
Right.
It's like this is what I have
Right.
here
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
Latino. The blacks will say, okay, we got Jordan, Shaq,
Yeah.
whatever. Anybody else? White people could say, oh, we got Brady.
We got the kicker. Yeah,
Babe
the
Ruth,
kicker.
and everybody
Right.
can say something, and Latinos we're not as high as everybody else in certain sports.
Right.
Baseball, I think, we
Big part of it now.
but I think that's a level playing field across the board.
A lot more now.
More
yeah.
or
Yeah.
less. In football,
Not so much.
that is non-existent.
No.
What's his name? Isaiah Pacheco from Kansas City. He's Puerto Rican.
Is he? I thought he was black.
He's Puerto Rican, and
Look at that. He's fast.
I'm Dominican, but I'm Latino,
Mm.
and I celebrate that with him because he's representing Puerto Rico.
So you
And
feel
Latinos.
good about that.
Yes, of course.
When my dad hears about Portugal or some Portuguese guy or woman or whatever, there's a pride. Hey, it's one of us.
Yeah.
But he's not saying that to exclude anybody else.
Yeah. No, of course not.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, is
Can you sum up what I'm trying to say and
Yeah,
and this in a beautiful way, Frankie? Because you know what I'm trying to say.
Perfect. So we're all Americans, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if we say we could work together to make this really great, not just great for some, but great for all,
Right.
are we excluding anybody there? We're talking about all of us. And that, my friends, is America. That's how you make America great. All of us, not Latinos that were cheering for the Latino that made it to the NFL, or a Portuguese that made it somewhere that you could feel proud about that. How about as Americans, all of us, black, white, Indian? You know how many Americans are there? It's the whole freaking world.
Right.
Okay, it's not just white people. It's the whole world. And nobody is excluded. We're going to rep for us and make this country great for all of us, not just you or you, all of us. And
I like it.
that is how you make it great. Anything less than that is not going to work.
Well, in that case, I think. Wrong one. We're gonna start playing ourselves out here. I agree, man. I agree because at the end of the day, you could be proud of the people you're around the most. You could be proud of yourself. You could be proud of your neighborhood. You could be proud of your state. If I hear about Connecticut, people from Connecticut, and I feel proud of them, right?
Yes. You like UConn when they
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Of course not.
I could have my moment, and you could have yours, and then we could have ours.
Yeah.
Let me do me.
Yeah.
You do you, and then we do us. The United States. I mean, is that... Let me say this. I thought this was going to end soon. Any last words, my friend?
Any last words? You know, I will say this to all our listeners, you know, that you may be from this side or that side, but here at the G Talk, we are just, you know, men with opinions, and we share it, and we could talk in a safe space, and you can share your opinion. I may not agree with you. You may not agree with me, and that's okay, you know, but at the end...
At least we're talking.
Yeah, we're communicating, and that's the first step. And, you know, I respect your opinion. I hope you respect mine. And, you know, let me give you a hug and get a beer.
And what a great way to end it. We're going to go out with a bang. That's not working. Here we go. How do we always go out?
With a bang.
Boom! Thanks for listening, everybody.
See you next week.
Thanks, Frankie.